Just going to ask you for 2 minutes at your tables to, on the basis of one or other of those two, or both if you're really quick, to consider one or more of these questions, and you can do it on your own or with a friend beside. Based on what you've just heard, what resonated most with you? What are the biggest obstacles to hope in the organisation in which you find yourself? And how does hope currently influence your leadership approach? And it may be sparked from something you've heard. It may be reflecting on your own practice. Just 2 minutes doing that, either on your own or with someone nearby. I'm always loath to cut across productive conversation, so sorry. This morning, in the context of Kathleen's presentation and Maeve's reflection, we heard about the importance of formation and governance. And this afternoon, there is an opportunity to address that very question and issue. I'd like to welcome now Lana Turvey Collins, who works for Catholic Mission as a facilitator and consultant for Catholic organisations in their formation and mission strategies and programs. Lana's been with Catholic Mission for 17 years and has lived and worked in Timor-Leste, Peru, Zambia, and is currently located here in Sydney. She originally studied Commerce and Linguistics and later completed her Masters in Social Development. She is a mum of 3 little people, a 4.5-year-old Juliet and twins Sienna and Eleanor. She's kept in balance because Tim, her husband, does 100% of the laundry and loves her too. Lana's today going to share with us an idea about membership association for people working in the profession of formation and mission leadership. And having presented to us, Lana will have some questions for feedback that she'll put to us as well. Please welcome Lana.
Hello everybody. Thank you so much to CSSA for giving me this time and space and for welcoming me among your gathering. The last time that I think I was in front of you all, I was also introducing a crazy half-cooked idea, and that led to 3 years of the whole country talking to itself about church. This is an idea that is not so half-cooked and a little less crazy, mostly because more people have been involved in the development of it from scratch. Cherie, in her presentation, talking about Weave, said it's been built through yarning and co-design, and so is this. So it's a great privilege to be here on behalf of Catholic Mission, but also with a debt of gratitude to the people who live and work in the space of formation and mission leadership. Many of you who are in this room who have helped to incubate this idea, go back and forth about how it might be valuable, should it happen, could we do it another way, all of those things very deeply involved in the co-design and creation of it. And Catholic Mission really just gave me the time when I came back from parental leave after having the twins 18 months ago. I didn't have them 18 months ago, they're 2.5. But when I came back to work 18 months ago, really, and sent me on a pilgrimage of research and conversation and creativity, and this is what we've come up with. So formation.org.au is both the website and the name of the association. Saves on the marketing and the mouthfuls. But really, it's going to be Australia's, place that is a permanent platform for dialogue and collaboration and coming together about the work of formation. It's deliberately intended to be a space that is always going to be there and be a facilitated space for the nurturing of this profession of formation and mission leadership, or whatever you call it in your organisation. So I'm here today to kind of introduce the idea and ask you to consider it. It'll launch in May publicly. So Catholic Mission's done the work, and we're currently, literally on Friday, we had the last session, I hope, with the lawyers about the Constitution. And it'll incorporate this week or next with ASIC and then go through the ACNC registration. So all of that's happening. And so this is the time now where we get to have more conversation, and I get to come to you and say, if it's going to be there, how can it best be useful to you? And some of your mission leader, and identity, Catholic identity and formation, people have helped to create this. So it may be a new concept to some of you, but hopefully not to, well, I know actually not to all of you. So thank you very much for getting us to this point. So to be clear, it's a membership association. It will be a company registered as a not-for-profit charity, but it's a membership operating as a membership association. And whilst Catholic Mission is the company member, if you like, when you join, either as an individual or an organisation, you join the company, and it will be to serve the membership, which is to serve the profession and practice of formation practiced in all of the ways that the Catholic Church exists. So in social services, in Catholic education, in health and aged care, in MPJP land, in religious, like all of the things that you can think of in our very, very broad church. This is what has come forward from the 18 months of research. So you don't have to write all this down. You will get, if you haven't already got, there's maybe on your table, this little document. It's a briefing paper. And also it can be sent out soft copy after this if you want it. But these are the 4 pillars of service that came through in the co-design workshops, the dreaming spaces, the yarning circles, the one-on-one conversations with formators, with CFOs, with bishops, with clergy, with sisters, people, as the prioritised needs and it would be fabulous if kind of creative ideas. So the 4 pillars are connection and community, wisdom and strategy circle, research and discovery, and learning and leading. If I start with the last one first, the learning and leading is really about enhancing and growing and discovering into the future the profession of formation. So we don't have anything across ministries and across sectors contextualised for Australia that maps the various pathways that you come into formation. How did you land up working in formation? What skills do you need now and maybe might need organisationally? What might we be looking for our formation leaders to do in the future? So mapping some of those skills for the profession, intentionally upskilling and nourishing the next generation, ourselves as people who pour out from a cup, and how do we, continue to fill that cup, and can we do that together more? There was a conversation earlier about efficiency and how might your formation leaders in your organisation deepen that conversation and inform it with the lens of our faith and our beautiful gospel story of and Catholic social teachings. So intentionally upskilling and nourishing the next generation, creating just a formation resources library, somebody starting in a new organisation or transferring from another profession. RECs moving into aged care services in formation or mission leadership, all those sorts of situations have been expressed and said, if I could just tap into somewhere with resources already made, that would be fabulous for me. Grants and scholarship opportunities for those who are trying to crack into this space. It took me, I think, a good 8 years to find a team of people, 4 or 5 men and women who were willing to mentor me into understanding what is good formation, what is formation, how do I practice it, how do I have conversations around it, what am I supposed to do when my budget's decreased and the expectation is increased, I just didn't know. So I was lucky enough to have wonderful mentors, and the association, people have expressed that would be something that would be absolutely essential. Over time and into the future, we will need more evidence-based and evidence-informed piloting and practice and trying. And so the theologates that are in Australia and the tertiary study and the academic sector and the theologians that are in this space, the research project that Susan Pascoe and the MPJPs are doing, and the stuff that Maeve Heaney, I think Maeve, you made a comment earlier this morning, has been doing for a long time. David Hall at ACU as well. There's just a lot, right? And so how to bring that together and then put it into a praxis space where we can gather the evidence-based practice and understanding, and then put that into praxis, get a case study, and then get that back out to industry and sector, not just in Catholic social services, but for health and education, and feed off one another, nourish each other's space rather than sticking to our own turf or territory. And then, so one thing the association will do is do an annual data survey of simply benchmarking, position descriptions, salary scales, and make it available to you as organisational members for use and then ongoing feedback. And the membership then can say, well, we need to have conversation about topic X, Y, Z, and drive that themselves as well. The connection and community is as it describes. So it is, as some people work in independent consultancies, some people are solo employees in a smaller organisation and feel lonely or feel at a loss or have to look, to either their previous experience or who came before them in that position for getting started or for keeping themselves nourished. So having a wider network than that, somewhere that they can post a question and say, hey guys, I'm struggling with this, or know that there's a regular monthly 1 hour conversation about topic X that the association can provide and facilitate, that network can be expanded beyond where you live or what sector you might work in. So some of the activities and functions would be what you expect from a normal membership association, whether, where doctors join the medical practice or lawyers join the bar and, that sort of professional development and nourishment. But it is more than a network, and in the research, and as I have been privileged to gather people together, it's about, and I think this is, our Christian and faith-filled foundations, it is about this heart space of vulnerability. It's more than just a professional comrade doing the same tasks. It's actually somebody who's journeying with me, trying to nourish people who are doing mission in their work. So for your counsellors or your case officers or, your formation people are sitting in a room going, they're already so taxed and so vexed. How do I, feed their heart? How do I feed their mind? And so this association and this network that we're trying to create of people working in formation is about nourishing each other so that we can better nourish all of everyone serving the church's mission. In the conversations and the co-design workshops, this is some of why it's needed now. Really, it's a matter of timeliness. Post-plenary council, post-synod on synodality, really I came back from parental leave and Catholic Mission gave me some time. It was a mix of different things coming together. But certainly there is a timeliness to this now. There seems to be a tipping point of not just the social services sector, but also Catholic education and the MPJPs and in other spaces, asking the questions about formation now, formation for the future. What is it? How do we define it? Therefore, how do we apply it in our organisations? And some of the strategic questions aligning. So that's why we've taken the opportunity to move on this now. The membership options are individual or organisational. So if you are a very small organisation, and I've heard, all morning, it's not new to me, but the strap on funding is we count every cent in every place. So if you are a very small organisation and are already on limited funding for your formation investment, for $220, one person can join as an individual, as professional membership, and vote at the AGM and help to guide what the association is structured on and can be a point of connection and communication with you as a small organisation. Bigger organisations, there's a scale, scale up for membership, but it taps out at $2,200 for 100 plus employees. And so it has been, the financial modelling has been done with the understanding that this is an offering in service of mission to the Catholic Church in Australia. It's not designed to be crippling. And if it is crippling, then we're not doing the right thing. So that conversation will evolve, but we did the research to find the starting points, and that's where it's landed. This is really some information about governance, if you're interested. I can meet with any organisation post this conference to explore this idea more. But essentially, Catholic Mission's starting it up. but that there is a separate company incorporated and a trust. So you may know Catholic Mission as a charity who does fundraising for the Church's global mission, but this money, any membership fees is for the association. It's just it is an incorporated work with its own standalone audits and board and governance structures. The heart of this really is the professionals who are in the space of formation, those who are coming, and the elders who have for a long time been working in this space. I sat yesterday with a 90-year-old sister and she talked to me about how she would talk to new young women crossing the door about the journey of learning to become who that God meant them to be. And so this association is a space for all of those people to come together. The governance of it has to enable and always prioritise community building. And the vulnerability and heart space has to trump strategy and competition. The cooperation and egalitarian nature of sharing resource has to trump financial profit or individual financial motivation. But balancing that is hard. And so there's been some thinking done to try and create, I guess, wings of the board. And central to that is the Wisdom and Strategy Circle, which was up as a part of the Pillar of Service. And so the Wisdom and Strategy Circle really is all of the professional membership, and they are responsible for designing and drafting the strategic plan, and the board is in service of governance of that and allocating the funding appropriately. That's really the nutshell of the idea. This is the board structure, and this is designed, again, has been collaboratively thought about to think about where does church already cooperate in the space and work of formation, and how do you maintain a connection so that the association continues to be in service of formation for mission, profession and practice, which is in service of the church's mission. So the 9 seats on the board, as we will start with, are really around the sectors of our key ministries as the Catholic Church, and the kind of leadership and governance points where formation already comes together. So CRA have got a formation and mission network, the PJPs have got a formation council, the Episcopal leadership is involved with a tap on the shoulder for someone, and then the theologates and the academic sector is, hopefully going to come together. We're going to facilitate that conversation. And then you can see there's education, social services, health, and parish-based ministry. Included in there is youth, all of the facets, youth ministry, ministry with young people, and also with families, sorry. and so all of the facets where formation touches, anybody working in this space might find something of value. It isn't completely comprehensive, but it does connect into the touch points of most of the major ministries. So this is where we're at. We've sort of done the structural co-design, and that's really on its feet. But how it serves and with what content and offering does it serve is a work in progress. It is important to understand that this is not coming in over the top of content delivery. So it's not delivering, say, part of my work for Catholic Mission is adult formation, and I will run a Catholic social teaching and human rights from the gospel lens session for staff. This association is not doing that. It is helping people like me grow in my profession, understand learning design, understand use of music for impact of spirituality reflection, all of the technical professional skills that I want to grow in a person who works in formation, as a person who works in formation. Is that clear, the difference between the two? So this is an association for people who are trying to get good at their profession and who need to rely on one another to do so for church and our mission. Okay, so I'm going to leave some time for questions, but first I'm just going to give you 5 minutes to chat at the table, to digest the idea, respond, react, and then I'll take some questions.
Ron's coming.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you. you. Thanks, Lana, for your presentation. That's wonderful. One of the questions I have is that, I understand absolutely that it's basically we were talking about, it's a community of practice for you all, which is wonderful. But we also wondered whether one of the functions might be for smaller agencies like us, for example, who might be relatively isolated but might want to source a formation practitioner. Is that something that might be available in the scheme of things?
Yeah, not just in the scheme of things. It's having a member database and a data bank of those members self-identifying, this is my expertise, and this is what I'm happy to make publicly available as a searchable expertise. That's a fundamental part of the platform. So you'll be able to go onto the website, member or not, and search for, I don't know, facilitator or strategy for mission or something, search terms yet to be decided by tech people, and find someone who can do what you need. Thanks, great question.
One more from Josh.
Thanks for the presentation, Lana. How many people do you reckon are likely to, be eligible for membership in this association? And just thinking of our sector, so many people have, perhaps it's not in their job title, but it's in their job description. Yep. And just thinking how many people do you think across the country and
so
how broad are you going?
In 18 months, I started mapping some of it. I only got through about half of church, like, structural, everything church. And I got to 1,400 people who could benefit somehow by connecting in. What I found in the research is that people's titles differ, but the commonality of strategic priorities and work, there's lots of crossover. So anyone is welcome. So each level of membership has some detail about, are you working in this space or are you not working in this space? But one of the strong recommendations we got was have a category of membership that's $60 or $50 to join and see if I want to do this stuff. So that's what we've got, Okay, my details are on the bottom of this thing. I don't know if it's on your tables yet, but if not, we'll give it out at afternoon tea. And please, I just want to repeat my thanks to CSSA, to Pat and everyone else who made this happen, and everybody who has helped think this through and bring it to reality. So it launches in May. Please reach out, be in touch. Very happy to have a conversation. Thank you very much.
Many thanks to Lana, not just for her presentation, but as you can see from today's presentation, just the depth and length, the considered nature of all of what's been invested in getting to this point, and hopefully will continue to grow and prosper hereafter.